Well, hello again everybody, sorry for the slight delay there. It looks like somebody's watching. If you are watching, please say hi as usual. If you're new, please subscribe and like the videos, of course, if you do like the content. This is a relatively impromptu VFR stream. We came to Prestwick on the cuff a little bit earlier. What I might have to do is reload the scenery. Oh no, it's alright. It's just looking a bit sparse was all. So we came to Prestwick having done some circuits at Edinburgh and just sort of blagged our way over here. So I thought I'd do an actual VFR trip using SkyDemon and the 7.3, which is a bit mad, but off to Manchester and see if we can get some circuits in there. They do look a little bit busy though, but it looks like none of the centres are online, so it might be a quiet trip of me just talking rubbish on our way down. Route-wise, I can't quite get it up on the tablet, and it's not going to be in the FMC, which I've just got a plog here that's printed off of SkyDemon with levels, MSAs, speeds, tracks, winds, headings, and times. And so this is going to be a proper visual stopwatch job. And it could go horribly wrong, and it could be alright. We will see. So I am on VATSIM. Hello, John. I'm going to apologise if you have been on before and I haven't noticed, but thanks for joining. It's about 45 minutes en route, so really, without further ado, why don't we just hop in and get to it. I'm not quite sure why the tinge has gone pink, but whatever. So it's primarily going to be visual, and I'm going to back it up with a few nav aids, and we're just going to see how we get on. So without further ado, nice quick and dirty setup. Get the battery on. The position lights are on steady. I did have some issues starting with the controllers. If the fuel is on, it seems that the airplane will start with the engines on, which is really weird. So I had a little bit of that to deal with. But hopefully we can get ready in about 10-15 minutes and just be on our way, a bit like flying a light aircraft. So, ground power on, AC power. We'll get the RSs aligning, and normally I'll get the OFP up to put our cruise altitude and stuff like that in. We're going to do it relatively low. Between Turnberry, the VOR, and Whitehaven, which is a point that we are going to be going to, the MSA is 3,600, but the weather en route should be fine. But if we do encounter IMC, we are going to have to climb to at least 3.6 and go IFR, which I hope we don't have to do. Your damper can go on. Got a bit of static on there. Don't know if that was someone trying to call me or not. Test the crossfeed valve. We're probably not going to need it. We're going to have quite a lot of fuel. We're going to have 5 hours worth of fuel, and hopefully we're only going to be 40 odd minutes en route. I'm going to pop all the pumps on now, and we've got centre tanks that are going to be filling up. So electrics fine. Cabin util IFE is on. We're going to simulate no packs anyway. Belts are all off. We're going to put a bit more fuel in and just get a nice round 15 tonnes in the aeroplane, which will be more than enough for our needs. And then I've estimated about 3 tonnes an hour at this sort of low level. So we'll see how we go. Is my monitor brightness up? Yes, it is. So down, cabin diff 0, hydraulic pumps can go on. Quick test the lights, make sure they work. The window heat can come on. Trim air, set up the AC as we like. The packs can go on, the APU can go on. 3.5 is what we're going to go to, and from the blog. So the elevation at Manchester 257. Not that the aeroplane should really be pressurising. That's the initial overhead done. I'm going to set that because we're not cleared. We have no idea what's going on, and there's no ATC at the moment. And the north isn't on. Yeah, life support. I may have said that before, but if I haven't said that and you haven't picked that up from me, John, then yeah, that is what it is. Life support, it keeps you alive. Fail to check it at your peril. So MCP-wise, we'll sort the radios up en route, and they're only going to be a backup. I don't even know what Whitehaven looks like, but like I said, I've got SkyDemon as an aid to navigation because I don't have an actual VFR chart for the north of the UK. I've only got the south, and it's an expired chart because in reality I haven't been up there just yet. London Centre, London East, London South and London Terminal are all on, so is Shannon, but no Scottish, so it's going to be Unicom for us. And we're going to change our squawk to 7000, set the radios up, and onto the FMC. So we are going to tell the FMC where we are. And we are at Echo Golf Papa Kilo. Pop the GPS in. And Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Now because it is an entirely visual route, I can't pop in. Well, I tell a lie, we are actually going overhead airfields and there's only one visual, purely visual segment. So we could technically pop it in, but I'm not going to. The whole point of this is to show how you can actually navigate successfully by just looking out the window. So payload wise, nothing. Let's put 15 tons in the aeroplane and get the fuel on the way. The runway is very long here, so we're not even going to bother doing the performance calculations. I know as a real pilot you should always do them, and it's even good habits to get into the sim and do it, but we will just do a full takeoff, a full power, no derate takeoff. We're only going up to 3.5 and the runway here is ample. I don't think I've got the runway length on the plog, but anyway, it is, you know, I mean there's about 9,000 foot here. So we know that we're going to have enough to get away with our current gross weight. I mean, if we've got enough to do touch and goes, then we've got more than enough to get ourselves on our way. So 3.5 is the VFR cruise heading tracking eastbound, and our tracks are all easterly apart from our initial track to Termbury VOR. What we might do is just intercept that. Oh no, we'll be taking off towards it. So we'll just head straight towards it, and then we'll take the track outbound, and we will fly the headings. I will match the headings onto the heading bug, but I will try and fly this all entirely manually for 45 minutes. Just update the MCP and the FMC as required when we start talking to people. So, order brake can go to RTO, and we can test that. The flap lever matches, throttle levers are checked, clocks line up. So what we do need to do is get the weather, and I am going to get it off of VATSIM, which I've just typed in. Of course we could do it on here, on the FMC. Oh great, I've got the sun in my eyes now. No, I should be alright. So, 210 at 9. So, having a look at the runways here, it would be pretty much across runway 30, but this METAR, oh no, 1450 Zulu, that's fine. 21, how long is that runway? 1900? I'm not convinced that we will manage to get away that quick. So, we'll take off from runway 12. Just because it is essentially completely across. There'll be a slight tailwind, but like I say, it is almost 3,000 meters of runway, which is, you know, 9,000 odd feet. So let's pop our current 0 fuel weight in. Our plan is going to be about 2.5, so I'm going to call it 3 tons of fuel. We should have at least a reserve of 5. Cost index is pretty irrelevant, and our cruise is going to be 3,500. Our cruise winds, well, they vary slightly, so just interpolating these, they look about 265 at 15. And we're so low that ISO deviation is not going to come into it. I'm not convinced that the transition altitude is 6,000 feet here, but we'll stay on the QNH anyway. So as I said, full power takeoff we'll go for, and once we've stopped fueling, we should have a gross weight of about 58 point something. Then I will just get the aeroplane to calculate our V speeds. Have we stopped fueling? Yes we have, so Let's get a couple of people in the back. Let's just call it 6 people on board. I know, let's just say like 6 in the back, 2 crew, a couple in the back, and that's more than enough. So, flat 5 departure, trim 525. We will accept these V speeds as they are. And 124, I think that's correct, because I had that set for downwind on the way in here. Turnberry, our first point is going to be track of 209. We've got Turnberry, Whitehaven, and then Whiskey Lima, NDB. We're going to go straight over Wharton and then to Manchester. So nav aid wise, 117.5 is the Turnberry VOR. The Whiskey Lima NDB Barrow Warney Island is 385. So let's pop that one in. Wharton is 337, so let's mirror that on this side. 385, clearly it's quicker to go that way, and 337. Manchester VOR 11355. Any other VORs? So I think Wharton has a TACAN and a DME, Turnberry, and that's pretty much it. So nav aid's there just to help back us up, and then here you go, you can see we're picking up the Turnberry VOR. Pop the airports on, and departure runway 12. That's it, that's all we're going to put in. And arrival, I am going to assume that we're going to get, pressing the wrong one. I'm going to hope we get 2-3 left for a touch and go. And this is probably going to screw the FMC right up. It's not going to know anything because I haven't given it a route. So, track 209. And you can see that's going to take us okay, I tell a lie, the track is not 209, that's what we need to get there. So 138 is our outbound. We could effectively just follow that line, that's looking a bit more sensible. It's going to be an immediate right turn after takeoff, and then we're going to intercept that, try and stop the stopwatch, so could be a little bit gash on departure, but we will see how we get on. So, let's get the APU started. Got the pretend packs sat down. Let's get better pushback pre-planned, and I think we're going to want something like that to something like that, and then we are going to turn left, right back on ourselves over this way.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
And head off towards the runway.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So, APU should just be coming on the bus. And there really isn't a lot to do when it comes to easy VFR flying. And one of the cool things, like I said in the last stream, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I've got SkyDemon on my iPad, which I do use when I go flying in reality, and you can simulate a GPS location from this, and so it's really good for practicing using a tool that you're going to use in flight without the hassle and the expense and the risk of learning how to use it in flight. We can press buttons and get charts and stuff.
All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Without, just by practicing using X-Plane, which is one of the other reasons I think that I was attracted to X-Plane initially, was the fact that that we could do that. So, IRSs are aligned, flight director go on master my side, just for the initial takeoff, and then we will sort ourselves out. That is still, so I've got that mapped to my controller, but unfortunately when you push and hold it, it doesn't keep going like the heading and speed do, so it's a bit more of a faff. Anyway, we are getting hitched up. So
connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Is there any information missing from that? Yes, there is. But, like I said, I'm not overly fussed. So, squawk standby, get the beacon on. Get rid of that one over there. And let's get back onto VATSIM. Prestwick traffic, prefect 99. Push and start stand 103. I think that was the right stand, but I could be wrong. Probably entirely wrong. Beacon's gone on. Assume the cabin is secure even though the flight hasn't started, so we won't get those messages, and we can
starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Log off blocks. And so that's slightly different compared to the SimBrief way of doing it, because you would start engine and then log off blocks separately. So I'm not sure how it's going to handle that. But I haven't hit it yet. Anyway, let's get the engine started because we've got more than enough fuel. We can afford to start them early. Start engine number 2. So start switch to ground, which I've got mapped to a key so I don't have to look at it. I'm going to be really disappointed if there's no ATC online. Although in reality, I do try and avoid talking to ATC if I can help it. Not that they're not helpful, but fuel on. You can fly VFR talking to no one if you stay outside controlled airspace, which seems to surprise quite a lot of people, I think. So I'm just having a look on the VAT radar. They are looking quite busy. The ATIS. Runway use 12. There is no runway 12 at Manchester. So starter cut out there, let's start engine number 1. And I probably need to practice my VFR comms as well. Although, like I said, I don't think there's going to be anyone to talk to, which is a bit of a shame. So I think some 737 doing VFR would be quite interesting for them. Although it's sort of 240 knots. Okay, fuel 1 on. 240 knots is pretty similar, I suppose, to an SR-22, something like that. They can go pretty
Operation
quick.
complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set. Again, I've got the parking brake
disconnecting tow. Stand by.
To a button on the throttle, so I can just apply the brakes and push that on because I've got the rudder pedals and got them set to realistic. So I'm going to call that engine start. And SkyDemon is actually smart enough that it should realise that we've moved when we do log off blocks. So we're going to disconnect, do the before taxi flow. So down, up, down, along. Pressurization set.
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
So we'll just wait to see the pin. And actually, when I think about it, my VFR comms are probably going to be terrible. I should have printed a weak crib sheet just to remind myself for the initial VFR call, which is a long old bit of chat. So once we see the pin, we can set flap. Okay, there is the pin, flap 5. One thing I do miss about FSX is the ability of the window in the window and an external view, which I used to find really useful for VFR nav. Anyway, flight controls full forwards, full aft, full left, full right, full left rudder, full right rudder. Control check complete. Equals checked before taxi. Checklist. Generators are on, no lights. APU is off. Start switch is continuous. Rope heat's on. Anti-ice not required. Air conditioning. Cruise set. PAX auto bleeds on. Isolation valve auto. Flap 5 green light. I should have said, did I say anti-ice not required there? I did. Flap 5 green light. Stab trim 525 required and about 525 set. Difficult to tell on here. Flight controls checked, recalls checked, and we are ready to taxi. Prestwick traffic. Prefect 99 taxiing hold runway 12. So we have self-cleared. Brakes off. Config checked. Off we go. Log off blocks. And if Adam Williams is watching, one job mate, one job. He hasn't said hi. Anyway, if you've got any questions, John, I mean, there's, apart from operating the aeroplane now, there's not a lot I can sort of chuck in, to be honest. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to put the terrain on, because that's our biggest worry. We are going to taxi straight ahead, and we are going to turn left. And you can see it's picking up a fair old bit of terrain there. So we are all clear. I don't even know if that will work. Apparently it does.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Cool, so cabin's secure. A little bit keen on the throttle there. We could probably take an intersection, but like I say, I have not checked the performance, so we'll just go right down to the end. We should get away with ample runway to spare. Of course, things are going to happen pretty quickly after takeoff. We're going to need to do a turn towards, just out towards the right really, towards the VOR. We can try and intercept almost overhead, but I think it might be a bit keen to do that. So it's 10 odd miles away. Just see how we go on. The time first leg from Turnberry to Whitehaven is 14 minutes. Heading of 143. Okay, so this is 13 here rather than 12 in reality. Prestwick traffic, Prefect 99 lining up and taking off runway 12. So it just needs that scenery updating, I think. So we have self-cleared for takeoff. Lights, wheels checked, MCP is set. Transponders on. Most importantly, trim
approaching
is also set.
12.
So heading select takeoff, but it is going to be manual. So it's now 15:45.
On runway 12.
Okay, heels on the floor. No carpet to check. 40% stabilise. Stable. 46. Power. Toga. And the clock is running. So a little bit of forward pressure on the control column to get us going. Sky Demon has registered that we are going flying already.
80 knots.
Check. So bring the control column back to neutral.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. 15 degrees onto the flight directors. And of course we are
400.
relatively light. So heading select is fine. So it's going up like a rocket.
1000.
So let's bug up. And I'm going to bring it back to about 80% just because we don't need to go mental. There we are, accelerating, flap 1. And I think it's time for a right hand turn. Flap up. And so we still need a little bit of climb. So quite a bit of trim to get us there. So water brake off, flaps up, no lights, gear up and off, start switches to off. Good, release the crew, we'll leave all the lights on. And we've just busted right through our altitude, just in that short time doing those checks. So let's start bringing the power back. So 216 was our heading to get to Danbury, but of course it doesn't take into account our climb. And obviously, in reality, you would pick something visual rather than a VOR. Still climbing. So you see I'm already struggling. So let's get the flight directors off. 240 is the cruise that we want. And our first heading is going to be 143. So we can bug that. Just to help ourselves out, let's stay clear of cloud because we are VFR. So actually get the airplane doing something that we want. Maybe not that much. So a little bit gash. Can I click Control F? What's that going to do if I click Control F? Not really up on the old X-plane shortcuts. So let's just get the airplane a bit more stable. So there we are, that should give us roughly level flight. And I'm just going to overshoot the VOR pointer there, just so that we can have a turn overhead. I need to go a bit further actually. Right, Control F. What did that do? Nothing. Oh, you want to see frame rate. Control D gets that up, there it is. So you can see a lot better than it used to be. It's just my flying that needs more practice. So entered airspace, have we? I've got an overlaid chart here I can't seem to get rid of. But I'm not going to let Skydemon distract me too much. That's alright, there's no worries. I think you can set it to whatever you want. So yeah, I'm happy to leave that displaying there because it is good to see for Vulkan. So we are looking for 143 heading outbound and 14 minutes to Whitehaven, which should be a town on the coast. So I'm going to start a turn here, see how we get on. Oh, we're nowhere near going to make that, are we? Screwed that up royally. So of course it's very easy to underestimate the turn radius required. So we'll start the stopwatch beam and we will cheat a little whilst trying to maintain some height. Use the track outbound. should see the VOR just out to our left. Let's start the stopwatch. And let's set an intercept there. We are probably going to get relatively close to terrain. Just saw why I picked this route. I thought it might be interesting. But as you can see with the Ortho and all of the world objects, I know the weather is not particularly challenging at the moment. But yeah, the frame rate is still pretty good. I still get a bit of stuttering, but I'm not sure if I could cure that. Anyway, I think we're roughly on course there. So let's go heading 143. See how terrible my altitude keeping is. So actually, I suppose in this case, this is where we want heading up on the display, because I am flying heading. And now, because it's all visual, I'm just going to pick something to aim for, and I'm going to use this here. And then the post-hat checks, heading 143 required, 143 roughly set. Altitude slightly high, we'll just correct that. Time, stopwatch is running. And we're on our way. So 14 minutes to Whitehaven, then 6 minutes, and 9 minutes for each further leg. Let's try and keep speed under control. Small movements. I think what I will do is
2500.
Configure, displays, and I want heading up. There we go, so we are well off. So that's what you get in a light aircraft, that's what you want. We are flying heading. So that's it. It'll probably be relatively quiet now. Edinburgh ground is on. Echo Golf Victor Victor, where is that? Trying to get the aeroplane on 143. Do want is a little bit less power. So I don't know if you can see, it is a bit stuttery over the mountains here. There was a chart there. Geo-reference chart, which I didn't ask for, but it came up anyway. I think we're a little bit off track, but looks alright. You can see heading's okay. It's just a case of picking something in the distance.
1000.
Terrain. Terrain.
We're happy and we're visual.
Terrain.
Of course you would
Terrain.
react to that,
Full up.
but it doesn't appear to be that predictive. So you can see why the MSA there is 3,600 for this leg. And then it should all start to drop off a little bit as we get further out. So heading keeping's a little bit poor. There's not a huge amount to aim for.
Altimeter setting.
We're still fine at 1021. So the transition level might be 3,000 around here. You are advised to fly on it. In reality. So 143. It's interesting that it does seem to drift off a little bit. But speed-wise we're okay, we're creeping up a little bit back to our assigned altitude. And that's it really. Looking lookout, attitude, instruments, nothing new. Or descending slightly. Just a touch of trim to get us back. VFR nav at its finest. So we should be about 5 minutes away from the coast. And in reality on the chart I would mark off halfway points along this leg, or actually the coast would probably be the best time to put a timing mark so you know whether or not you're on schedule. So we are now in the London FIR. See that it's actually quite difficult to get the trim set. We are drifting off slightly. So Whitehaven is across, this isn't a bay, but across this inlet, and Whitehaven should be on the other side, and it's just a town. The terrain should go out to the right, and then there should be a town on the left. That's what we're looking for. Now, I'm not sure if that's me and my bad flying, or if that is explain modelling thermals, wind coming off the terrain, and a little bit of an updraft there, but you can see that the vertical speed is fluctuating a fair bit. And of course in reality I'd probably fly this a lot higher depending on airspace constraints. It's nice to be as high as you can get. Sort of chasing 1 degree on the heading is interesting, because having flown in reality on just the standby compass, this thing up here, having successfully navigated using one of those, it does just go to show what you can achieve using the old compass and a stopwatch. So, I know we are quite low, so we might not pick anything up. Manchester, it's only ground and approach, so I'm going to tune approach 118. 57, and we'll call them no later than Wharton. Not knowing how busy they are, but there's me inbound if you look on the map. So that's it really. Anyone got any questions? Because it's just us sitting here for a bit, heading, altitude, speed. Like I say, I'm not quite sure why it's drifting off ever so slightly. My controller is right in the middle. The only thing I can think of is the wind, but I'm pretty sure that the wings are ever so slightly angled up on the 737, which should give you a rolling motion to the left. Try and pick it with some rudder, but do I have greater than 90 degrees? Yes, I think so. So because this is a 21:9 monitor, I set it to something that didn't give a huge amount of distortion, and so an equivalent 16:9 with all the same settings and the same hardware would probably give you slightly higher frame rate because the CPU's got a bit less to do. I'm just going to correct that heading because it's drifting off quite a bit. And yeah, I think without having a look at the settings, because it will pause it, it is set quite high. And the sort of key feature for me was being able to get that course in as well. And I don't think it looks particularly distorted. I think it works quite well. The one downside, of course, is if you're not watching on a 21:9 monitor, you've got the letterboxing on YouTube, so you're going to see a lot less detail from me. And I think it's possible to output a 16:9 stream, but of course then that's going to cut things off, and I'd be doing stuff over here potentially that you wouldn't be able to see if I had it on 16:9. So it's a bit of a trade-off, and I appreciate that it can be a lot harder to see individual items. I don't know if you could zoom on YouTube and actually zoom in and get rid of the letterboxing. So yeah, apologies that it's a bit less than ideal for you guys anyway. Sky Demon, which I can't get up because it's on the iPad, does this really nifty thing of when you're over water, it gives you your gliding distance based on your average aeroplane. So if you're single engine in the aeroplane and the engine quits, it gives you an idea of if you can make it back to land, which at a glance is really quite useful. So there's quite a lot of useful tools, useful features I should say, that it's got. So I'm just going to try. The trouble is with this aeroplane and in the sim, you end up really finesse flying on the trim, which you wouldn't do in reality because you've got no feedback and the control inputs are relatively small. That was the lightest touch on the trim, and you see that we've gone, it's almost impossible to get it perfectly level. So it's just a case of monitoring and letting it float about. We will try and correct that heading though, although we are still on track using the moving map on Sky Demon. And so we've got about 2 minutes to run. And the great thing about this is that's the forecast. You can see that even with some relatively sloppy flying, we're pretty much in the right area. I'm looking at the map and I'm looking for a bit of headland, and we need to be aiming to the left of it. We are, and I've not been flying that completely by the numbers all the way. So it just goes to show you've got some mountains out here to the left with relatively high MSA for those. The terrain there is about 3.5, and it just goes to show, you know, it's all sort of like bucket flying. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Close enough, you know, to the nearest 5 degrees on a short leg. That distance is 62 miles. If you are 1 degree off for that whole bit of track, you're going to be 1 mile off. And you know, we are looking at, I am going to assume, looking at the scale here, 25 nautical miles is about my thumb. So, you know, this is like 10 miles. So to be, you know, 1 or 2 miles off, I'm pretty sure this is Whitehaven ahead of us. These are not marked on the chart. There's some obstacle lighting US. Dean Cross VOR is up there somewhere. I'm going to be a bit cheeky and probably just kiss into these clouds, which is not technically legal. But this is Whitehaven, and if I zoom in on the chart, there is a harbour and we should be going right over it. We're slightly off track, but you know what? It's good enough, and I think we are going to be bang on time. 14 minutes, like I say, for the PPL test. For the skill test, I'm pretty sure it's plus or minus 3 minutes. And you're allowed to update your ETAs, so yeah, mental. 121975 is the ATIS. So I'm just going to plumb that in for Manchester. So we are cheekily into some cloud. We could technically climb above this if it's less than half, but that's 14 minutes. And we need to turn onto a heading of 161. So let's do that now. A little bit of illegal flying. Of course you could drop below this, but I'm not getting into trouble if we do a bit of inadvertent IMC in this aeroplane. So 161, heading, stopwatch. So the reason we need to be visual is so we can actually navigate. We want to be visible with the ground. We are actually going to go over a restricted area down here, which I think is one of the nuclear power stations. The top of that restricted area, looking at the chart, is 2000, so we are well clear of that. Might be Sizewell, I'm not sure. Anyway, we're picking up the Manchester VOR, so we could, in theory, go direct. So down here, we should see something, and it looks like it to me, right on the coast, looking nuclear-y, and you can see we've got a bit of drift on. You can see Ortho at this height is really, really good. So let's just stay on heading, little nudges. So terrain wise, we are looking to sort of head over, slightly over the coast. We should be just following this over, and then we'll go over a little bay or an inlet, and there should be an airport just ahead. We don't need Turnberry anymore. What we do want is 385, which we've got. It's probably a little bit far out to pick it up, and we should be going directly towards that, so we can use the radio aids to help us just to confirm our position. But this is a VFR flight, so it's primary visual means, and like I said, in reality I would climb above this layer and go up maybe another 1,000 feet, although I'd actually be a lot higher. A, because of the terrain, and because of the water. Something like 6.5, no hang on, we're heading east, so it'd be 5.5, 7.5, I'd go for 7.5 if I could, but obviously 7.3 twin, don't need to worry too much about that. The leg time is 6 minutes, so we're already almost halfway. Not much in the way of features, but we are looking to aim for that bit of land over there, so we're going roughly in the right direction, and it's all a bit of this, a bit of that, you know, close enough. We don't have to worry about icing because we are above 10 degrees. You see the airplanes flying along quite happily. So, Whiskey Lima, NDB, just off to our left. I'm not going to follow that, but I know that we do need to maintain 161 rather than 162. And of course, you guys, you know, like, you can do this using the autopilot. But what's the fun in that? It's going to be a bit more difficult, and I could make a right hash of getting into Manchester. I'm not familiar with VRPs or anything like that, so it could get really busy there. If they just give us headings to fly, I'm also happy with that. If we go IMC, I'm also happy with that. You wouldn't be in reality. And hopefully they'll let us have a touch and go. So I'm just going to get tower up. And I've written it like a right mole, but mind. So, disused airfield is on here, and actually we're just to the right of track, which is fine because that helps being able to see it. This disused airfield is Milom. Again, nothing mentioned on there. In reality, I would be calling up Barrow Warney Island, which looks like it should just be out here, let them know we're going overhead, even though we are well clear of their ATZ, which only goes up to 2,000 feet. It's a good idea to get. So now I'm sort of feature crawling, and we're just going to get right back onto our turning point. And again, look, are we a minute away? Yes. You know, heading, height, stopwatch, it does work. So I'm just having a little private chat with... Cool. So it's 2-3 right at Manchester. I think I said I put the ILS on. So the only reason that I'm putting this in here The only reason I'm putting this in here is just so it gives us an extended centre line. And I'm surprised that that airport didn't show up, but 6 minutes, we are actually slightly early. Our next heading is going to be 155, so I'm going to start that turn now. You could do it on stopwatch. And we are off to Wharton. So let's stop that. So, do we have an ETA to Manchester? We do not. So I think we are about 15 minutes out. You can see difficult to fly over this. You've really got nothing to aim for. But we are inbound to Wharton. What have we got at Wharton? 377. No, 337. Right, so let's pop Wharton on. So I've got geo-reference plates that I don't really want to see. Let's not worry too much about Sky Demon. And let's get back on track. And I'm just going to make a correction. Just left for a little bit. A couple of degrees just to get us back on track.
Hero 5050.
So 118625. Let's have a listen to the ATIS.
Okay, 750 Delta, direct Mammal.
And 320 degrees. Visibility 10. Kilometers or more broken 3,500 feet. Temperature +19. Dew point +11. QNH 1021. Threshold. QFE 1012. Acknowledge a receipt of information, Lima. And advise aircraft type on first contact.
So we are pretty much heading straight for it.
Manchester information, Lima. Time 1420. Automatic. Runway in use 23 right.
Off my Alpha, contact Manchester radar 118575.
Level 60. Surface wind 280. 7 knots varying between 250 and 320 degrees. Visibility 10. Kilometers or more broken 3,500 feet. Temperature +19. Dew point +11. QNH 1021.
Which is what I've got set.
QFE 1012.
Oh, I've done it again.
Acknowledge a receipt of information, Lima. And
So radar 118575.
Port final, go.
Tower 11862. Manchester radar, very good afternoon. Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, hello Manchester radar, pass your message.
Prefect 99 737 800. Information Lima QNH 1021. Inbound direct Wharton. Altitude of 3,500 feet. Request entry into the zone for VFR circuits.
Prefect 99, Roger, what serves to be outside October, please?
Happy with the basic service, Prefect 99.
Roger, resume question. Route Cell Viaduct, and I give you clearance when you're towards it.
Sorry, say again. Prefect 99.
Route towards Cell Viaduct, and I'll give you your clearance when you're closer.
Redirect Seoul, Prefect 99.
05750, descend flight level 60,
So I've got to try and
lead Mercy,
find
heading 085.
that.
That's 6,000, leave Mercy on heading 0, was that 85, 0550.
Yep, 085.
So there's Wharton ahead.
Go, Mike Alpha, final runway 23 right.
This is my terrible radio.
Mike Alpha, runway 23 right, clear to land, 7300 degrees, that's 8 knots. That's the touch and go for Golf, Mike Alpha. You're clear touch and go, 7300 degrees, that's 8 knots. Clear touch and go 23 right, Golf, Mike Alpha. 875 Juliet Delta, no further ATC, and I come 122, that's my good afternoon.
So I think we've got what we need.
Delta, no further ATC, and I come 122, that's my good afternoon.
Sorry, no further ATC, right, you come 122, that's my thanks, 1050, Delta, thank you very much.
So we really can't see anything, but what we will do is just skirt along the top of the zone if we need to. So 6 minutes, I think we were bang on overhead. So direct to Manchester now is 142. And we've got about 5 minutes to run.
Much better, good. I believe it's something 95. Charlie, flight level 170. 195 Charlie, hello Manchester, radar expected for the Alice Brooks.
Hello Dylan, good to see you. Thanks for joining.
100.
This is probably going to be a bit of a mess with my VFR. So I am going to bring up 23 right just for the ILS. So 23 right, 1095.
Further ATC and come 122, that's my good afternoon.
You come 122, that's my AT52, that's hotel, good day.
05750, turn right heading 095, descend to altitude 5,000 feet on the QNH1021.
That's
looking interesting.
Right, heading 095, QNH1021, here at 5750.
Prefect 99, you're clear to enter the Manchester control zone by the Stillwell Viaduct VRP, not above altitude 1,300 feet on the Manchester QNH1021, squawk 7361.
Clear to enter the zone via the Stillwell Viaduct VRP, not above altitude 1,300 feet, QNH1021, squawk 7361, Prefect 99.
What does the 98? 1,300, read back correct, report overhead Stillwell Viaduct.
Wilco, Prefect 99. So I've got to find that first. Thelwell Viaduct, right, cool. So Manchester TMA we are technically in, that's Class A, so we would be getting into trouble now because we've drifted up. So 7361. So let's get out of that pretty quick. We want to go direct.
That's radar, good afternoon, again 57311 approaching Mike 1.
Getting a 7.3 down to 1,300 is mental.
Take off 7300 degrees, that's 8 knots. Keep right here, take off 57311.
So,
Go Mike Alpha, put down with the intention.
232.
Go Mike Alpha, down 123 right. Full stop landing.
052.
Roger, extend your downwind leg.
And I'm going to start bringing the speed back now as well.
Extend downwind, stop and 0573.
Right, that's taking us on track, which is fine.
3,000 feet.
Down to 3,000 feet, 05750.
Contact 95 Charlie, descend flight level 60.
2,500.
So down to 1,300 is pretty low. We are technically in the TMA, so I think he wanted us to go under, which we may struggle to do. Doing our best to head to the viaduct. And if it's a right-hand circuit, it's going to be 232 plus 90.
Mike off, report final, runway 2 to right. Traffic is an Embraer 170, departing runway 2 to right. Caution weight turbulence, recommended distance 3 miles.
So you can see, even just flying it visually, we are struggling to get the speed back and descend as well. So...
5750, reduce speed 180 knots, turn right heading 140 degrees.
You wouldn't really want to see this out of your window, would you? 737 at 1300 feet. Let's get a bit of speed brake out, try and get the speed under control. There's 10 miles. So he looks like he's setting us up for a downwind.
Conjet 95 Charlie, leave Dane, heading 025.
So it's a lot easier with radar vectors and all that now. So 1300. We may very well struggle to maintain accurately.
Flyer 7311, report passing altitude.
This is genuinely mental.
Flight 7311, thank you. Climb now, flight level 190. Flight 190, flight 7311.
So really got to pay attention to keeping the aeroplane slowing down. Let's get her up now because we are really starting to slow down. So there we are. We've got not very long.
Turn right turning 210 degrees, cleared as approach runway 2 to right.
Flap 180.
210 degrees, cleared ILS approach 23 right.
See the visual picture is very different.
Golf Mike Alpha, final runway 23 right. Golf Mike Alpha, runway 2 to right, you cleared sun, 300 degrees at 8 knots. 123 right, Golf Mike Alpha.
Prefect 99 overhead Thirlwell Viaduct.
Prefect 99, thank you, report field in sight.
Okay, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, you're entering short airspace in 3 miles, it's radar control.
3 miles, radar control, Prefect 99, thanks. So I think we're pretty much visual. But let's stop the airplane from dropping out of the sky first.
Captain 3 Victor, holding point Mike 1, ready for departure, and good afternoon.
Sure, 3 Victor, hello, Manchester, Delta Squawk 3271.
Squawking 3271.
So 138. The wind at 7.
05750, no correction, no ATC speed restriction.
No speed restriction.
So we'll add 5 knots to that. 143. Let's see if we can maintain flat 5.
And Prefect 99, what are your intentions in the zone?
Prefect 99, we are now visual and request touch and go 23 right, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, roger, enter right hand downwind, runway 23 right. Traffic is a 737 on an 8 mile final.
Right, traffic, 23 right, copy the traffic, Prefect 99. So, right downwind.
And 05750, traffic is a 737 on downwind leg, runway, right hand downwind leg, runway 23 right.
So we can start just bringing the speed back.
Traffic 737 on the right and downwind 05750.
Oh, that was a bit more stressful than normal. Very different. Now we've got to try and get the spacing right. So I think we need to be about 2 miles out.
95 Charlie, descend to altitude 3,500 feet, QNH 1021.
So the elevation at Manchester 257. So we're about 1,500 feet.
Mike Alpha, contact the ground 121.
So 30 and 45 will do us for our times, and we'll see how we get on from there.
05750, runway 2 direct, you're clear to land. Surface 300 degrees at 8 knots.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Command, runway 23 right, 05750.
I'm Prefect 99, are you visual with the aircraft on the final?
If visual, Prefect 99.
Prefect 99, roger, behind that aircraft, report final, runway 2 to right.
Behind the landing aircraft, Wilco, Prefect 99.
Subject 95 Charlie, reduce speed 200 knots. 200 knots. Subject 95 Charlie.
So we really want track now.
Sure thing, Victor, I'll get you on in just a second, stand by.
So we are downwind. Looking alright. Got that 4-mile ring for awareness. So radio was all a bit gash. I think I need to work on that a bit.
Subject 95 Charlie, score.
There we are. Start the stopwatch.
4755.
And hopefully, I did lie when I said I was visual without traffic. I can't see a thing. Oh, there he is now. But I've got him on TCAS. So.
Correction 57311.
Oh, my ears. That was incredibly painful. So 30 seconds, gear down. Flap 50. "45 seconds, flap 20. Started our turn. Now I'm going to have to tweak the FMC in a little bit. Right, we've got tower 11862 tuned. Quite a lot of back pressure to arrest that rate of descent. A little bit tighter on the turn. So remember, it's a touch and go, so no arming of the speed brake. I think we're going to be a little bit low.
Subject 95 Charlie, turn left lane 260 degrees, cleared ice approach from 2 to right. 260 degrees, clear ice approach from 2 to right. Subject 95 Charlie.
1,000.
Prefect 99, it's going to be a late landing clearance.
Late landing clearance, prefect 99.
05750, expedite your vacate to a right of an aircraft on a 2-mile final behind.
Vacate right to him.
So that was a bit of a sketchy lineup, wasn't it?
Expedite, brake, prefect 99, road 2 to right, you're clear.
Approaching 23 right.
8 knots.
Apologies, request touch and go, prefect 99.
Roger, please just go surface in 300 degrees, 8 knots.
Clear touch and go, 23 right, prefect 99.
Should also you Victor behind the 737 performing a touch and go, line up and wait from a 2 to right behind.
Behind landing aircraft standing up.
So, order brakes off,
500.
speed brakes not armed.
Charlie, when established,
Flap 30, gear down 3 green, start switch is continuous. I think I checked recall, and we are now doing a really sketchy arrival.
200.
A little bit of a crosswind, but not much.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
It's going to be a bit of a bump. Stand them up. Flap 15. Keeping the aeroplane straight with rudder. Easier said than done. Flap set, go.
5,000 feet remaining.
Is the aeroplane lifting?
4,000 remaining.
Is that a wing touch? Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low.
400.
Too low.
So flap to 5. Hopefully that won't do that again.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time.
1,000.
You enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon.
So,
Ryanair.
Prefect 99, what are your intentions? Just so I'm going to be closing after the next aircraft arrives. So he's just on 10-mile final.
Roger, I'd like another touch and go, but I'll happily manage my own spacing, prefect 99.
Apologies, speaking.
It'll be a downwind touch and go, prefect 99.
Perfect, thank you. And the 99 traffic is a Tomjet 737 on a, sorry, a 787 on a 9-mile final.
Still trying
Prefect 99 traffic, it's a Tomjet 787 on a 9-mile final.
Well, that's 787, 9 mile final, Prefect 99, thanks.
And Tomjet 95 Charlie, traffic is a Boeing 737 on a right-hand downwind runway 23.
So we may have to extend for this.
95 Charlie. I'm using 99 behind the arriving aircraft at port final runway 23.
Port final behind the arriving aircraft, Prefect 99.
Shuttle 3 Victor, runway 23, clear takeoff, first and 30.
So let's get rid of the Manchester VOR. So we're fine, I think, being a little bit higher, because we are going to need to extend. So legs wise, there we go, didn't activate that, that's fine, that's now set. So you see there's a lot to do when you are hands-on flying the aeroplane, and I'm visual with that traffic, so as long as we get past him we can start our turn. Pretty good rule of thumb. So let's go back to track up on here.
I'm Prefect 99 on that arriving aircraft, caution wake turbulence, recommended distance is 5 miles.
Copy the wake turbulence, recommended distance 5 miles, Prefect 99, thanks. So
Tomjet 95 Charlie, room 2 to right, clear to land, 7300 degrees, that's 8 knots. Call the wind, quick number 1 2,
I don't think there's any damage to the aeroplane.
Shuttle 3 Victor, report passing altitude.
I do think we are a little bit close in.
Shuttle 3 Victor, thank you, climb now, flight level 190.
Oh nice, pop the specs in the chat, Dylan. I only just saw that on chat, so I've been concentrating quite a lot and doing a very bad job of a circuit. If we have a look on our map trace, it ain't looking great. So 5 mile spacing, we can probably aim for about here. So once the gear travels, let's start our turn, let's not go up. We're probably going to go through the centre line even at 30 degrees. I think we're going to want to roughly maintain our height at this point.
Yeah, approach hello, World Express 1 Delta Whiskey, holding Mike 1, ready for departure.
Thank you, hold position.
Hold position, 1 Delta Whiskey.
So there's probably not 5 miles for the wake turbulence. Prefect 99, final number 2, touch and go.
Prefect 99, we'll take you to approach. You are number 2, and the traffic is famous as well.
Continue approach, Prefect 99.
Shuttle 3 Victor, no further ATC, Unicom 122 decimal.
So we'll go to landing flap at this point because we are a bit high. It's quite difficult to do that, to figure it out once you've extended.
Behind the 737, forming a touch and go, line of plate runway 23 right behind.
Behind the touch and go 737, line up white behind runway 23 white, 1 Delta Whiskey.
Tomjet 95 Charlie, vacate to the right, contact the ground 121 decimal.
So
good evening.
You can see we've roughly got the visual aspect correct. We're going to be a little bit higher, a little bit fast because we are...
Prefect 99, runway 23 right, clear touch and go, 7300 degrees, that's 8 knots.
Clear touch and go 23 right, Prefect 99.
1,000.
So a bit sketchy, not perfect, not terrible. Well outside the ATZ. Our circuits. Bit I think I've probably flown worse.
Approaching 23 right.
So, what a break off. We are now in the ATZ. Flap 30. Gear down 3, green start switch is continuous. A little bit high onto the pappies.
500.
We are cleared to land. Who was waiting for departure? That guy there.
300. 200.
So looking for that aiming point.
100.
And looking along the runway.
50. 40. 30.
Check. Close.
20.
Hold.
10.
A little bit of a float. Come on, down we go. There we go. Stand 'em up. Flap 15. Trim set. Flaps travelling. Go.
5,000 feet remaining.
And there we are.
4,000 remaining.
Off comfortably. 15 degrees. Positive rate.
Too low.
Gear up.
Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
400.
Flap
Too
5.
low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
And we can start climbing turn. We could have done that at 400.
1,000.
So I'm not sure if 1800 is the right height at Manchester. It's certainly working for us. Back to about 60% initially. Level the aeroplane off, and you see the speed doesn't really increase too much there. So I want to bring back to the flap 5 speed. Yeah, so come on Dylan, pop your specs up in chat.
That's 1 Delta Whiskey after departure, fly runway heading. Runway 2 to right clear for takeoff, surface 300 degrees, that's 8 knots.
After departure, fly runway heading, clear takeoff runway 23 right. World Express 1 Delta Whiskey, thanks.
So even though we had the FMC not quite configured properly, all worked out in the end.
Prefect 99 are going to be closing after the aircraft is departing, so Unicom with yourself, 122.8. Thanks for the flying, goodbye.
Econ 122.8, thanks for the service, have a great day, stay safe, Prefect 99. So, I might call it a day after this. Liverpool approach. We could just go to Liverpool. Do you want to go to Liverpool? We do a touch and go here and then go off to Liverpool. And we could just blag it. So 122.8.
I want to first 1 Delta Whiskey, we're going to give you a bit of a shortcut. When you pass 1,000 feet, turn left heading 070 degrees.
Left turn 070 degrees past 700 feet, 1 Delta Whiskey.
And 1 Delta Whiskey, report your passing altitude.
Passing 600 feet, 1 Delta Whiskey.
Thank you. Climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, 1 Delta Whiskey.
Cool. So 30 seconds. Let's see if we can get one decent circuit out of this. Gear down. Flap 15. So 45, flap 25. Let's get the aeroplane round. We do want to descend, so about 2.5, 500 feet a minute. It's not that much out of the zone. Still within 4 miles. So we can ease that turn off a little.
What it says 1 Delta Whiskey, resume on navigation direct to Mammal.
Navigation direct, 1 Delta Whiskey.
So there we are, I think.
I'm going to 1 Delta Whiskey, unfortunately there's no further ATC, and I come 122.8. Good afternoon, stay safe.
There we are, pretty much on profile. A little bit quick.
122.8, thanks for your help, 1 Delta Whiskey.
I know, station Manchester radar is closed, Unicom 122.8. Bye.
See you later. Manchester traffic, prefect 99, final 23 right, touch and go. So, Liverpool 11985.
Approaching 23 right.
Go round, acknowledge. Aircraft just calling, confirming out Manchester
500.
Charlie.
Hey, Ferb.
Can you be contacting Manchester radar 18575?
Negative, he's offline. Well, he's just about to go offline.
300.
He's just about to go or has gone.
Roger, we're joining the
200.
for right. Sorry, correction, right. Beijing will be
100.
Roger, we'll do a touch and go and we'll probably just head over to Liverpool.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Ooh.
10.
That was a bit of a thump. There we go, down we go. Stand him up, flap 15, reset the trim.
Boston traffic open in South to find
There it is, flap 15, go.
5,000 feet remaining.
B1,
4,000
rotate.
remaining.
Positive rate, gear up.
Too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low, gear. Too low, gear.
400.
Too
Flap
low,
5.
gear. Too low, gear.
So let's go up to 2,000.
$1,000.
And let's go to Liverpool.
Boston traffic open in circuit.
So we want about 270. Manchester traffic, prefect 99, leaving the zone to the west. That view doesn't help. Yeah, well out of trip. So, Liverpool we are about 5 minutes away from. Liverpool Tower is not on. Oh, Liverpool approach has gone. That's no fun. Let's go to Liverpool anyway. So, oh, this will be a good chance to do an initials join. So let's get the airplane a bit more stabilised and we'll do some crazy stuff. So, let's change to, I think that's Liverpool. Arrival. So we want 4, 10, and you can see there is the centre line.
Approaching the zone from the northeast and joining overhead for runway 27 for left hand circuit.
Liverpool traffic, prefect 997378, 110 miles inbound. Did you say you were going for a left hand circuit?
Affirmative, but first we're joining overhead and we'll continue to orbit overhead and let you command as much as you get.
Roger, thanks. So it'll be initials join left hand 27, prefect 99, thanks. So it's going to be something like 180. So let's get a bit of speed on. Liverpool is pretty much at sea level. An initials join for a left-hand circuit will be offset to the right. We are going to go pretty quick, and then we're going to brake a beam downwind. So we will drop down to about 500 feet. And I think we will go.
Full traffic Golf India Flight Chapter. Right, orbiting right in the overhead.
Prefect 99 visual. So 500 foot initials join, let's see if we can get away with this.
Low terrain. Too low terrain.
And that's fine, we're happy with the terrain warnings, you can cancel them.
Too low terrain. 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 Too low terrain.
Prefect 99 initials.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
So there is approximately 500.
Too low terrain.
There is the airport out to our left.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
500.
Too low
So
terrain.
we'll stay level at that point.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
Sorry about
Too low terrain.
the irritating noise that I just don't have the capacity to shut up at the moment.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
So as we bring the throttle back, I've only practiced this a couple of times.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
Prefect 99 on the brake, 27 downwind, touch and go. You see we've gained all that height really, really quickly. So quickly, so quickly in fact that we can't quite manage it. Maybe 2000 would have been a better option, but you see how it really is. I should have gone to idle a lot earlier than that. I do need to practice this manoeuvre. So heading wise, I think we want something like 090 will do. You can see we're still really, really quick.
Traffic Golf India Flight Chapter. Definitely descending runway 27 for left hand.
See, we really needed to get that turn nice and tight. So let's get down to the upspeed. And Prefect 99 downwind, left hand, touch and go.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
There you go, back to 1500. We're going to be a little bit further out than he is. As always, running out of hands. That'll do us. And you see we really have still got excess energy even though we've been idle almost since the pitch. You see the airplane is only now just coming back. So again we'll go 30 and 45, so we'll call that downwind. So we want about 144. Of course we're going to get those flashes.
Traffic Golf India Flight Chapter joining the circuit left hand crosswind for runway 27 currently at altitude of 1000 feet on the QH132
So those are some interesting old ND indications. Yeah, we're going to need to go gear early because we're still only at flap 1. So flap 5, and we're going to have to start the turn early as well. There's flap 15, back on the power. So hello Shamrock, thanks for joining. If you've got any questions, I'll try and answer them with what spare capacity I have, which is currently not much.
Traffic Golf India Flight Chapter left down and forward to go 27.
As you can see, that was a pretty wide circuit, not spectacularly well flown. We are number 1. I'm not sure if we'll even get away with a touch and go at Liverpool, it is a bit short. And I think we are a little bit high now, without seeing the pappies. Prefect 99, final 27, touch and go. So he's lower than us, which is something of a worry.
Prefect 99, confirm your end bearing.
1,000.
Hey, fair.
Well, that's an aircraft to do circuit in.
Yeah, it's using up all my capacity to just hand fly the damn thing at the moment. So we're still a little bit high.
What's your occupation?
Approaching
I work for the government. I'm not a pilot. Well, I have a private pilot's license, but this is just for fun.
Same old thing.
Oh, landing.
It's always for fun.
Off, landing gear down.
Too high, too high.
We're going to struggle with this. So we're going to have to
Unstable.
dirty dive.
400.
Yes, we know.
Think rate.
300.
So
Think rate. Think rate.
that was a little bit gash in the final
200.
segment.
Approaching minimums.
Hopefully we've just about got enough runway to play with.
100. Minimums. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So
Long
we are gonna
landing,
go
long landing.
straight to full
5,000
power,
feet
flap 50.
Remaining. 4,000 remaining.
There's V1.
3,000 remaining.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Too low. Gear.
Prefect
Too
99,
low. Gear.
Sorry, I was just in the middle of the landing roll there. So I normally fly out of Halton.
Too low. Gear. Too low.
400.
Gear. Too low. Gear. Too low. Gear.
No, we are flat 5, so that's fine. Let's just get the trim on.
What's your time?
PA28 and 152s.
150, 152, 73, score.
Cool. Right, I'm not sure if we'll do a full stop on
1,000.
this.
If I traffic golf in your side shelter, turning final 40 bearing 27.
So there we go. Whew. Single crew, touch and goes. Hard work, but fun. Actually, that's not a bad circuit
If I
position.
traffic golf in this next delta going around on the 27, we will be entering the left-hand side.
So we've done a touch and go at Liverpool. We could go straight back to Manchester. Is anyone else online? Do we want to go anywhere else? Prefect 99 will depart downwind and head back to Manchester. So let's get the power on.
Traffic delta is now commencing high-speed travel. We're going back to
Monitor vertical speed.
Wow.
Clear of conflict.
I hope there's no high-speed restrictions.
Not when you're on Unicom.
What exactly? So now it's up to do.
Right, so flaps up, gear off.
Oh, interestingly, someone's off information.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in there.
I dare you to try.
Okay, let's go for a low approach. So, bottom tower, Birmingham.
Even a low approach might be a struggle.
Let's see what we can get.
And boss, correction, the full traffic over to the shelter is now approaching and pressing.
Full traffic. Prefect 99 departing the zone to the northwest. See you later.
Well, I hope you do those departure zones as we look at the arrangement between and 87.
Yeah.
Well, surprisingly, no one ever calls engine zone, even though it's quite close to the left of A&O, what people do. Use it.
I'll make sure I do when I go to Bart. So,
Say again?
I'll make sure I do in a couple of minutes when I go to Bart. So, Bart.
Fantastic, but no, but it's just generally, I warned about it because then we'll have to, when everything's in Asia, then support high when entering when entering, and I don't think you have to do count for one freedom to say you have to tell me it can be.
It's all life's little nuances. So,
Well, I know Cat 4 and 3 is not really true to air law. There's a lot, I don't think it matters really, but there's a lot of things in air law which most people don't use, so, but they never seem to be prosecuted to.
yeah, it's all good fun. So I'm just switching to Barton. See you later.
Cheers.
Barton Tower, good afternoon. Prefect 99, 737 800, 2 minutes to run to the southwest. Request a low approach and go around. One 2025, 2025, 2025. Oh, maybe we'll just go back to Manchester, seeing as Tower is online. I'm not sure if I can be bothered to set up.
Golf Lima 9090, flight information. Good afternoon, it's pressure details.
Flight information, Prefect 99, a 737 800, approximately 1 mile to the southwest. Request joining information for a low approach and go around. We're not going to get that in time. So we will just remain clear. So Barton is not on my list of places I desperately want to go, but there it is. And Prefect 99 will pass overhead and we'll go on to Manchester. So Manchester Tower 118575. Manchester approach. Good afternoon, Prefect 99.
Precinct 99 Manchester radar, hello. Report your intentions.
Well, seeing as you only just come online, we probably shouldn't be in the zone, but we were on the last guy. We're just overhead Barton and heading approximately 065. I'd like to make a visual approach and a full stop at Manchester.
Precinct 99 Roger. Continue on heading 070 degrees and maintain altitude 3,000 feet.
Big 070 degrees, 3,000 feet. QNH1021 is what I've got, Prefect 99.
Precinct 99, yes, QNH1021.
Copy. So let's bring the speed back. 070 over here. Let's set up for an arrival. No, we don't want to go there. We want to go to Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Want to arrive 23 right. This. And 3,000 is what we've got. So, it'll be relatively heavy. Break 2 should do us, but of course we should check.
Manchester radar, hello, EV70 Romeo with you through 3,000 for 5,000.
EV70 very Manchester radar, hello, squawk, ident, climb now, flight level 100.
Ident up to 100, EV70 Romeo.
862. 862 for the tower.
Precinct 99 and turn right, heading 135.
Right, heading 135 degrees, Prefect 99.
2500.
So we're happy to accept vectors. Do need to try and maintain 3,000 though.
And Precinct
99, and the field is at your 3 o'clock range, 10 miles, report visual.
Wilco, Prefect 99.
Wisco 320 Manchester radar. Was there 320 Manchester radar?
Maybe he did.
Precinct 99, apologies, we do have an aircraft operating at your 3 o'clock range, 4 miles, passing right to left. They're indicating an Airbus A320. The level is also indicating 3,500 feet. They are not contacting us, I do apologise for that.
So that's not your fault, and I've got contact on TKS, Prefect 99.
And Precinct 99, field is at your 2 o'clock range, 9 miles.
Field in sight, Prefect 99.
Precinct 99, runway 23 right, you clear visual approach, the winds are 270 degrees 9 knots.
Clear visual approach, 23 right, Prefect 99. Oh, why don't we do one more touch and go? So, we want...
Precinct 99, contact Manchester, Tower 1862, bye-bye.
Tower 1862, thanks very much for the service, have a great day, Prefect 99. Manchester Tower, good afternoon. Prefect 99, 737-800, QH1021, visual approach 23 right.
Victor Golf Lima 99, Manchester, good evening. Clear approach 23 right, wind 270
Clear visual approach 23 right, Prefect 99, thanks. So let's get that off because we aren't cleared to land. What we do want to do is now Prefect 99, final 23 right, request touch and go.
Prefect 99, 23 right, clear touch and go, wind 270 right 9.
Clear touch and go, 23 right, Prefect 99. So we haven't got any other fix rings.
I'm right, 3321, Mike 1, checking again.
0 exit Alpha 3321, Manchester Tower, good evening. Now hold Mike 1.
Roger, we'll hold Mike 1, sunrise 3321.
So let's get stabilised, get the speed back.
3321 behind the landing 737, via Mike 1, line up 23 right behind.
Roger, after landing, Boeing 737, line up behind.
Let's get that reselected. Let's bring it back to 140. And let's go gear down. Really difficult to judge the glide out from this distance. Get some power back on nice and early, because I think we are pretty much there. So we don't want speed brake. And it's just configuring for a normal land, and we are cleared to land.
Approaching 23 right.
And we have been cleared touch and go. So flap 30, water brake off, gear down 3 green, start switch is continuous, cleared to land. Recalls checked.
500.
So the wind seems a little bit variable.
400.
It's not bad, we got a decent approach out of what was a pretty messy situation there.
300. 200.
A little bit slow.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Down we pop. Stand them up, flap 15, reset the trim. 15 travel, go.
5,000 feet remaining.
And rotate.
4,000 remaining.
So positive rate. Gear up.
Too low, gear. low, gear. Too low.
Flap 5.
Too low, gear. Too low, gear.
They still in a 9-9. Just report your intentions for me.
We'll be downwind land, prefect 99.
Prefect 99, roger. It's iron bar circuits or...
Negative visual, please, prefect 99. So that was a bit of a mess.
1,000.
Report downwind intentions.
Okay, prefect 99. So that was a little bit of a mess. Not my finest touch and go. So this will be the last one, we'll call it a day. Maybe do an IFR trip later. So there we are. Let's just bring the speed back, get the plane trimmed. Prefect 99, downwind, full stop.
Prefect 99, roger. Report final 23, right? You're number 1.
Okay, prefect 99.
Sierra X-ray Delta 3321, runway 23 right, clear takeoff with 270 degrees, 9 off.
Right, 3321, please make
So start the stopwatch. Let's get the speed back. Get down to 2000. Oh, a bit tired after that. Different, interesting. Not my best flying, but hey, some of it was fun. I'm going to try and perfect the initials join. Just goes to show how much energy there is in the aeroplane when it's going that quickly. Anyway, we missed out. Gear down, flap 15 point. There's 45 seconds. Flap 25. Start our turn. And see if we can get a little bit of descent going on.
Sunrise, 3321, airborne runway 23 right.
So a little bit quick on the descent.
3321, thanks. Contact Manchester radar now, 1 minute, decimal 5, 75, bye-bye.
Roger, contact radar at 118.575, bye-bye.
So we might end up a little bit low on this one. Not a terribly flown circuit. He says just as he levels off, it makes it a terribly flown circuit. Prefect 99, final 23 right, land.
Prefect 99, runway 23 right, clear land, wind 270 degrees, 9 knots.
Clear land 23 right, prefect 99. So we are a little bit high again.
1000.
Probably that sketchy final turn. Speed brakes armed, water brake 2, flap 30, gear down 3 green. Start switch is continuous, recalls checked. We are cleared to land. Vacate when able. Ground
Approaching
1
2,
5.
3 right.
Tuned. A little bit quick. Let's just arrest that rate of descent. That was pretty poor planning there. The wind doesn't seem this strong, but every now and then it seems to create a bit of an issue. Anyway, that aiming point will come back. There we go. A little bit low.
100. $50, 40, 30. Approaching minimums. 20. 10.
There we go. Versus deployed. Speed brakes went up. And we'll go manual braking.
80 knots.
And there we are, vacated. Prefect 99 vacated.
Prefect 99, welcome to Manchester. Contact ground 121.850. Good.
Ground 12185, thank you very much for the service. Have a great night, Prefect 99. What I don't have is any of the charts. Can I get the airport chart up? Let's come to a stop here and do a right. Let's get the lights off. Manchester ground, good evening. Prefect 99 vacating 33 right.
Vulkan 9er, welcome to Manchester ground. What's your stance, sir?
Some of the stands will probably be easiest, Prefect 99.
Confirm just easy stand for you.
Say again?
I didn't get the last transmission.
Anything sort of straight ahead on the southern side of the apron will be fine, Prefect 99.
Copy that. Taxi stand 15 via Bravo.
Stand 15 via Bravo, thanks very much, Prefect 99. So we are on Bravo. Parking stands 15 straight ahead, and then it's first left on one of the piers up here. So let's get the airplane cleaned up.
Manchester ground, tow line 29 Charlie with information Zulu, request clearance directly on S5.
So, straight ahead, let's get the APU up.
Charlie. Clear to destination by the Sonics 1 Romeo departure. Expect runway 23 right and squawk 520.
So there's an hour and a half of hand flying, give or take. Fun. So straight ahead Bravo, Juliet Echo first left. So welcome to Manchester, guys and girls.
29 Charlie, clear to directly on the file by the Sonic 1 Romeo departure, 23 right and squawk 5203.
Sierra 29 Charlie, read back correct. Call when ready for push.
Interesting that there's no straight ahead there, but never mind. So I think that's our stand.
We'll call when ready, tow line 29 Charlie.
So stand 12 over there. This is better than the standard scenery. And not too bad on the frame rates actually. It's hit them a little bit, but certainly could be worse.
Manchester ground, hello, EV4 Tango Whiskey stand 211. Type Airbus A321, information Lima on board, request an IFR clearance to Lisbon.
So down to 10 knots. That is stand 15. It's much easier to figure out when you've got decent scenery with decent signage. Oh, does it not have gate guidance? That's rubbish. The whole point. So the only stand with no guidance. Ah, a waste. Oh no, there's a guy stood there. I'll do. Cool. On stand. An hour and 38 minutes after we pushed.
Tango Whiskey clear to listen by the Tucson 1 Romeo departure. Expect runway 23 right and squawk 2206.
So 2 blues, 1 red.
Thank you.
Engine's dead.
Lisbon, Cookson 1 Romeo departure. Runway 23 right, squawk.
Hour and a half flying
EZ4
is what Sky Demon says. 1 hour 27 minutes. 1 hour 34 blocks. About the same for the engines. So, now welcome to Manchester through our magical mystery tour. Let's get the beacon off. The ground power on. You can come off. And let's get the door open. And let's see how much fuel we managed to use. Well, 4 tons messing about. Well, that was different. Oh, I think we should have gone a bit further forward than that, but he said stop. Be nice to have that gate guidance there. So, this was, I think, the free Aerosoft scenery at Manchester. So it's been free, and like I say, it used to really hammer the frame rates, and now it's pretty good.
Shamrock 215, ready for push.
This lad here.
Shamrock 215.
Don't know what this guy's doing.
Push and start cruise.
But yeah, all in all, pretty cool.
Push and center road facing south.
As always, thanks for joining. It's been a pleasure having you. It was just a bit of a mess about testing the mod out. It's been managing pretty well. Just a bit different. If you liked it, please sub, please like, and please join again. I don't know if I'll fly 6 o'clock now, so I probably won't do an IFL trip tonight. But I will definitely be flying tomorrow, so if you can, I hope you can join me. I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.